Hello, thank you for joining us yet again. We're coming to you live from Nile One Studios. My name is Rita Cavaniero. But hey, wait, you need to do a subscription button right there. Do click on it and also hit onto the reminder for notifications, because the information here is very important. Do not forget to share the link right here. And did you know, actually, to take you back on the reminder, the highlight that happened around the country in areas about blockchain, Bank of Uganda actually last month gave a chance through the proposal that came in from Blockchain Association of Uganda to have at least digital assets, and also proposals that can see a hope for crypto trading in the country. Discussing with us today about blockchain applications and its legal framework in Uganda is Councillor Robert Chirunda, who is the Secretary of Blockchain Association of Uganda, and also the founding partner Chirunda and Wesiga Advocates. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. How are you feeling?
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me, and I feel great. This is a wonderful place to be.
And let's kickstart it off from the knowledge share that Bank of Uganda welcomed through you on with their technical teams to seeing crypto business models and, you know, others being eligible testing in their sandbox. From your perspective, how much can Ugandans actually rise the expectations, and what is there to hope for?
So there's, let me start with the last question you asked, Rita. And there's a lot to hope for.
Okay.
There's a lot Ugandans can do. The blockchain ecosystem in Uganda has come from a very, very, very long way. In the last 5 years, between 2017 and today, a lot has changed. There was a time when people assumed if you said blockchain, you meant Bitcoin. That has changed. People don't view blockchain only in the context of cryptocurrency. Crypto may have been the firstborn of a blockchain, but a lot is happening now. We are, I believe, the first country in the world to have a blockchain application deployed at massive scale by a government.
Okay.
One little known fact in this country is that there is a government institution, like I mentioned, it's UCC, uses blockchain in a way that affects almost 40 million people.
Okay.
Now that's massive. It's massive because we finally have gone from the place where people think of blockchain in the context of crypto, but also blockchain in the context of service delivery, especially by government. We're fixing real issues, addressing real challenges, and providing real solutions. So what happens then is that in the area of finance, and it's understandable, it's understandable that regulators are nervous. The fear of the unknown will always
emerge.
It will always emerge. And it is their first duty to worry, because when the public is threatened, they must step in and do something about it. Now, we did have a history of scams, and we've come a long way in addressing scams and making
it's still happening, actually.
It still happens, and you still have wrong elements, but you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. So what's happened is that you now have a maturity towards saying, okay, let's finally start at a point where we can see what are these people doing so that we can learn from them. The best way to learn about anything tech is to experience it. Well, really much of life anyway, but the best way to learn is you've got to get in there on the ground floor, see what's happening, see how is it done, assess the risk correctly, and then you can regulate.
I see how you're standing with the Bank of Uganda, but as well, on that similar note, the digital asset firms will now be able to participate in the regulatory sandbox operated by Bank of Uganda. What impact do we look forward seeing into the digital firms transpiring? So
you will remember the history to this is that the central bank writes a letter and cuts off a major on-ramp. When they come and say all people licensed under the National Payment Systems Act should not deal with crypto businesses. That's a massive blow, because you need mobile money. Essentially, that's what they were saying. You need mobile money to be able to access crypto a certain way. And there's a lot of volume at some point. there's a lot of volume moving that way, both via on-ramps and off-ramps. You cut them off and then you have a real problem. And people had to, we advised people and said, look, comply, don't create problems. But then you have to find a solution. Now, the essence of a sandbox anywhere in the world is to give a regulator an opportunity to appreciate what exactly are you doing, and how can I help you to grow, or how can you help me to learn what to regulate. So it works both ways. Sandboxes help nascent businesses. You have an idea that you want to put in the market. So it's a controlled environment to test and see, are you exposing the market to risks we don't know yet? But also, are there ways we can support you to grow? Essentially, a good sandbox regime will be time bound. It will be time sensitive, and I believe in Uganda's legal framework that time is 6 months. They expect that in 6 months the regulator should know what they need to know, and you should have grown enough to go into the market without causing danger. So the value here is that any digital asset firm that gets into the sandbox essentially has this stamp of legitimacy, because you're saying, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. My business is safe. I'm not risking the market. And there are models that we have discussed in the association, that conversations are ongoing to say, we can help you, because one of the biggest problems, for example, in the crypto markets is volatility. But there are solutions to that. You know, and the central bank, because it's not especially paying specific attention to the crypto markets, will just watch the charts and say, oh, Bitcoin fell from $68,000 to $22,000. I think this morning it's begun the uptick from 20 to about 22,000, and so it looks like the bulls are back. When you see that dump, that drop, technically speaking, if you're doing fundamental analysis, that is a lot of money gone. That's a lot of value. A regulator must worry. The hodlers, on the other hand, will say, it's at 20K, I must buy now because it will definitely break resistance at 70,000. It definitely will.
And that is, I can say, well said around there. But let me now take you back to the general observation you have been in. You know, you are the secretary of Blockchain Association of Uganda. From your observation, what is the general overview that you can give us on how Uganda is adopting, you know, this whole blockchain technology?
So let's start from the legal. So on the practical side, like I was saying, we've grown from where the only thing we knew about blockchain was cryptocurrency. The only cryptocurrency we knew was Bitcoin. We've grown to the point where there are indigenous exchanges, Ugandan-built exchanges like Binusu, coded here, built by Ugandans, running a global business, attracting global partners. The market has grown. You have companies that are doing applications that are not crypto-based, but are blockchain-based. Now we have a national strategy on blockchain. We have a national strategy on 4IR, which has a whole chapter on blockchain and what the country should be doing about blockchain. So the outlook from where I sit is positive in terms of where is the country going. In terms of the legal framework, when I read the law today, it actually all but regulates blockchain businesses, including crypto. Now, regulators may disagree on how we are interpreting the wording, but the wording is there. In the sense that when you look at the Foreign Exchange Act, because Bitcoin is a currency elsewhere, it's foreign exchange in Uganda.
Yes,
for example, because essentially, people don't like to think about it that way, but a cryptocurrency exchange is just a forex bureau on the internet. It's more than that, but at its core, it's
at
business.
least it's displayed there, I can say.
You see, now that's one. Two, if you look at the National Payment Systems Act and the way it defines electronic money, in my view, cryptocurrency fits in that definition. Three, when you look at the the Electronic Transactions Act and the way it defines and the use of the word of cryptography in that statute,
it suits there.
Really, you are talking about blockchain. So I can go on and on and on. There's about 5 or 6 statutes, which when you read carefully, you can see the law has matured. The challenge is this: it's matured one statute at a time. What we now need to do is bring regulators together to say, this is what you have so far, this is what you need. So if you look at other countries, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, the UK has announced they will have completed that framework by the end of next year. The US is racing forward aggressively on regulation. If you look at all this, what they've done is to say, let's write a digital assets framework. Meaning that now, the same way you would look at mobile money as an asset class or as a specific business in the banking sector, you're now going to come and say, okay, let me look at digital assets as something that needs regulation. And that's where I see.
And do you think we're going to achieve that in 6 months? Meanwhile, as the sandbox is ongoing with revisions of what is ongoing as blockchain association from what is ongoing in the market, do you think what we are lacking can be achieved so that maybe regulators can take ownership?
It will be achieved. I don't think it will be in 6 months, but I think it will be achieved. Let's not forget that there is value in the fact that Bank of Uganda is now engaging.
Okay.
That's a good thing. It's always a good thing when you can talk. The Uganda have an expression.
Which is what?
Uganda vita.
Okay.
Siblings are like goats. They might knock each other, but they never break. But those conversations are important because they lead us to where we want to go.
Okay.
And so anywhere in the world where you've had good digital assets regulation, you have to have industry and regulatory collaboration. And the fact that that has started, for us, is a very good thing.
All right.
The value in having an association is that you then have a collective voice in which you can express the sentiments that are required for us to make the points that need to be made. And which we think are important.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
In case you just joined us, we're discussing around lines of blockchain applications and also its legal framework in Uganda, and more so what can be done in the country to improve the environment around crypto trading, more so on that. I'm still with Councillor Robert Chirunda, who is the Secretary of Blockchain Association of Uganda. And here we are. Now let's speak about the lawyers.
Yes.
How are you positioning yourself into this, industry, blockchain industry?
The good thing about lawyers is that you can't avoid us.
We can't avoid you.
You can't. So you will find lawyers at different stages of the ecosystem. There's those of us who are advising players in the market. There's those of us who are advising regulators on risk. There's those of us who are advising foreign clients who are saying, I want to enter Uganda, what do I do?
Okay.
Those are players, those are industry players. And then there are those of us who are providing education. And we're raising awareness, writing papers, writing national policies and things like that. And you will find different lawyers at different parts of the ecosystem. So what we are doing, at least I know a few people who have. And then you have firms. I believe Yellow Card, for example, has retained a good friend of mine as in-house counsel. So there's a lot of opportunity for lawyers to jump in. Also, I believe that lawyers will become part of the development process. So for example, if I look at the legal processes that we use in the courts, I can see spaces where blockchain applications will be built. It's just a matter of time. And nobody, I mean, you can give me devs and I tell them what to do, but they need me to work with them through that journey to build a product that works, because they don't understand my world. So I see a world in which lawyers are going to be fused with devs, but also at the law school at Makerere, for example, we now have a Center for Learning Emerging Tech. One of the things we want to do is, in raising the lawyers of tomorrow, teach lawyers to code, because one day you will be ruled by code, whether you like it or not.
Robots? Are you speaking about robots?
One day the law will be on code.
Okay.
We are
look
all
forward. It's just a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. So if you think about, for example, dispute resolution, if you think about smart contracts, if you think about, I mean, I teach classes on international trade, and the deployment of smart contracts now in just the shipping process, in banking and paying for goods. I represent a client who's always shipping in stuff, one of the biggest beverage manufacturers. And if you think about blockchain and shipping, a lawyer who doesn't understand blockchain will not understand what to do. But if you put a smart contract in there, at the point of writing the rules in the smart contract, someone is going to have to think through the legal questions and how to write those into code, one. But two, at the point of arbitrating those disputes, you're going to need lawyers to say to people what's happening here. Now, someone has to train the judges, someone has to train the practitioners. So there's a lot of opportunity that we see from the legal perspective.
Okay, I'll cut you short there a bit, but I would like us to continue still on when you were speaking to us about the legal framework. You highlighted some of the things at least we expect in the legal framework, but you are a lawyer, you have at least engaged with Bank of Uganda. Even in the letter, I remember it, there is a sentence there that refers to you for more. You could tell us more if crypto trading in Uganda is legal or illegal. You could shine a light on crypto trading, because a lot of people right now are eager to hear what you've got to say about that.
Crypto trading in Uganda is not illegal.
Okay.
But I can say that without fear of contradiction.
Maybe you can even turn more for yes there.
There is no law in Uganda that says crypto trading is illegal. It does not exist. Crypto trading in Uganda is not illegal. Two things are important to keep in mind. If you are a trader, please do not trade money for people who do not understand crypto. Why? Because crypto is risky, crypto is volatile. People who understand the markets will get that, so they will understand when they lose money. People who don't understand the markets will blame you when they lose the money on the markets. So please, I beg you, if you are a trader, do two things. Number one, if you must trade anybody's money, make sure they understand the risks and sign a contract that discloses the risks adequately and properly. Speak to a lawyer, write the correct kind of contract. In our business, whether it's a SAFT or all the paperwork that we use in raising money in crypto, the longest parts that I have seen in crypto contracts discuss and explain risk. That's very important. The second thing is, only touch anybody's money if you really absolutely must. I would encourage any crypto trader out there, trade your own money. Or do it with people who actually understand the market in which you're trading.
Okay.
Where many of our people are getting into trouble is that people who don't understand the markets and how they work come, and when they lose the market, because the market turns, it's just the way the market is, the market turns. It happens in stocks, it happens in fiat currencies, it happens in bonds, every market turns. The reason why people feel they are losing money is because they didn't understand the risk. But also, let's be fair, and let me use the opportunity to clarify something else fundamental.
Okay.
It is this. There are scammers out there, and we do not condone scams. In fact, the association just wrote to we were alerted of a group that we don't trust very well, and we wrote to them and said, give us the following information, or we are going to regulate us, and we will tell you.
You can tell that to me now. You wrote a letter to the scammer?
Yes, the association wrote to, someone comes to us and says, we think these guys are scamming the public.
Okay.
So the association, that's one of the things we do. We want to protect the industry. So we write to them and say, give us the following information, or we will tell you to shut you down. And we intend to do that, because we've been engaging with Bank of Uganda, Capital Markets Authority, the Uganda Police, the Financial Intelligence Authority, because people suffer. And we don't want traders to suffer if they're doing the right thing. So what we do is then we step in and say, in the public interest, we will tell every regulator in this country, shut you down.
So we're speaking about Ponzi schemes here.
Exactly.
Am I right to say that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the difference is this. A Ponzi scheme, you can change the name, it will still be a scam. I mean, whether it's... I'm trying to avoid names because we're in the public space.
We know it.
But you see, the problem there is not crypto. The problem there is human nature.
Not the knowledge and the information.
You see, the scammer knows just enough to exploit ignorance.
Okay.
But that's not because crypto is bad. That's because the person who's surrendering their money didn't know they were being scammed. Exactly. So the solution to that isn't banning crypto trading. The solution to that is raising awareness.
Okay, you can tell them that now.
You see, the solution to scams is not banning crypto trading. And to my knowledge, at least, and I am happy to be guided or corrected otherwise, there is no law in this country that stops people from trading crypto. What we will not condone is if we hear of a scam and we know for sure you are scamming people, we will work with the authorities to have you arrested because you give us a bad name.
Well said there. And now we speak more about blockchain applications and how convenient they can be adopted into this country, reflecting on the inflation that is happening, reflecting on the economy, how it is. There is now conflictions on whether we're in the middle income, and some are saying we're not yet there. And then people do not have money, fuel is rising. I mean, how are we going to see, quick adoption of this blockchain technology? Maybe what solutions does it bring on table as we undergo all this that is happening, and with the future generation?
I was speaking to a friend of mine once, a very senior lawyer in Kampala, and he said to me, the thing about crypto, or the thing about blockchain is it's a solution looking for a problem. I thought it was very interesting that he put it that way. Okay. And this is what I see. I see that, one, if you think about just the economy, you talked about inflation and prices and stuff like that. Think about how much opportunity the blockchain industry provides. The last time I checked, and my statistics may be outdated, but for every blockchain developer out there, there were 7 jobs waiting.
7 jobs waiting.
And those jobs are global.
Okay.
They are not local.
Okay.
So if you think about capital inflow, if you think about how much money Ugandan people can make by just... This morning I'm on a group, one of our businesses, and we were talking about our guys upskilling on Hyperledger. And someone said, they'll be competing with the Ukrainians. Think about it this way. There is this ecosystem that can absorb many young people who can make a lot of money by coding on their laptops. If you compare that with the number of young people that are going to the Middle East to work, you see where the difference is. That those who are going to the Middle East don't have to risk, have to risk their lives. These ones who are learning a skill here can attract work. So what we should be doing is incentivizing blockchain business to come to Uganda.
Okay.
Number 2, we should be looking for ways in which we can deploy this internet of trust. This because that's what blockchain
Internet
is.
of Things.
No, think about blockchain as really a medium of trust.
Okay.
And then look at all the failure points, because price versus value. Sometimes a function of price. Every price you see has a risk of distrust in it. Because the fuel guy doesn't know how many liters he will sell tomorrow, he keeps his price at a certain point. And as the market keeps adjusting to the price keeps going up. That's why nobody wakes up and says fuel is 3,000 today, tomorrow is 7,000. No, they have to walk you to 7,000 slowly but surely. And if you notice the fuel pattern, it never goes back to where it was before it went up. But the sources never change. So think about what we can do in terms of the economy and creating trust using blockchain.
Okay.
And then you will see the opportunities that come from underneath that to percolate to the surface. Whether it's eliminating
we wait for that to happen as stakeholders. We play the part to at least pass on the message to the regulators for the process to be quick and fast. But how about the status of dealing in crypto in Uganda? How does it stand from your observation?
But that's the same thing as trading, as I understand it. We can't deal in crypto. We just have to be sure to expose the risk. Alert everyone.
You can alert them now.
I traded Forex in 2010, 2011. And the biggest reason why Ugandans lost money in Forex wasn't because Forex was a scam. Yes, there were scammers, but we lost money because we didn't fully appreciate the risk that came with global markets, the global Forex market. Now, crypto is Forex on steroids. So if you think about it, that you understand that we need to caution the public. Markets can go up, markets can go down. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money. Once we are on the same page with regard to the risks, then we can't trade crypto. Also, trade with people who are trustworthy, mainstreamed. If you're going to an exchange, go to an exchange that you can verify.
Okay.
Now we have enough exchanges in the market, we have enough players, and that's what the association exists for. If you're not sure, ask those who know. Talk to people.
Seek right information.
Yes, seek the right information.
Okay.
And when you have the right information, then make the right decisions.
Okay.
Because that's where the rubber meets the road and the butter meets the fire.
I can say there are people who will help you make the right decision. Nile One is here. Come to Nile One. I'm sure you will meet someone who will help you make your decision. We're soon concluding this discussion, and let us now look at what government is losing meanwhile as it takes a very slow pace into the decisions. What is there for the economy? What can government lose out, or what is already, being lost?
The biggest loss that governments will incur, not just Uganda, any government on the continent or in the world
globally,
that doesn't move quickly, is the risk of being left behind. Two things are happening globally. The first is that you have the Bank for International Settlement in Geneva, in Basel, in Switzerland, trying to standardize the regulation of crypto-related or digital assets or virtual assets in a way that just takes them back to the models them as closely to the existing banking system as possible. The challenge with that is that what gave blockchain its prominence was that it was breaking away from the challenges of the financial system that led to 2008 crash. Taking us back there takes away some of the advantages and the value that blockchain provides. The second challenge is you don't want to get to a point where everyone has written rules and you're playing catch up. Because by that time, economies mature. Regulation is always a sign of maturity. Economies mature faster when there is certainty in regulation. Now look at South Africa, for example. A very switched on market, but the regulator is still just as behind, in fact, in some ways, slightly worse than Uganda's regulators. Now,
sorry about the laughter.
The challenge with that is that money hates noise. And because money hates noise, capital flees where there's uncertainty.
What noise are we speaking about?
So every time you have someone saying, oh, Bank of Uganda has banned crypto trading,
yes,
capital stays away.
Okay.
When capital stays away, jobs suffer. When jobs suffer, omuntu wa wansi suffers. So if we create noise, let's create the right kind of noise.
Okay.
You see, because every time a government issues a statement that is misunderstood, because we then, when we engaged with BOE, they were saying, no, we have not banned crypto. Because in fact, the reality is you actually cannot ban crypto, practically speaking. But that's the story.
It is a decentralized system.
But then, when governments send the kind of repos that create negative attention towards an industry, then ultimately what happens is that capital flees, and when capital flees, the economy doesn't grow.
Okay.
Capital is a very, very critical factor of production. Our friends in the Ministry of Finance will explain that better than me. So let's work towards constructive engagement, constructive dialogue. Let's identify the risks together. This is the way I would put it in terms of where do we go from where we are. Let's identify the risks together. We all want an economy, an industry that thrives. We all want an industry that provides value and creates value for everyone. So we must break the dichotomy between Bank of Uganda is over here, the blockchain people are over here. We have to get into a room and have the right conversations and create the right environment, because the blockchain ecosystem is about a lot more. I mean, we haven't even started talking about things like metaverse, but the opportunities there.
They're immense.
They are immense. Now, when I say money hates noise, what I am saying is because there's too much noise around, can I trade crypto or not? People who would come to build studios here, for people to build applications, for people to develop NFTs, for people to do all this kind of stuff.
They're limited.
I mean, I have a student I know, she was in third year law school, and she stepped out to go and she decided, you know what, I'm going to go out there and build an application, and by this time next year, I must have built an NFT. Now, the NFT market is huge. Huge. And for the most ridiculous issues. But here is the thing. People who focus on NFTs think, why would anyone buy a picture of a cartoon at $100,000? It's not about the cartoon. It's about changing consumer behavior and people being willing and free to spend money digitally.
Okay.
Even more than on mobile money, because mobile money has its inherent flaws. If you think about mobile money today, there is a transaction value below which it doesn't make sense. If I send you 1,000 shillings on mobile money, it costs me more to send you that in quantitative terms than to send you 1,000,000 shillings.
And we're discussing blockchain applications and its legal framework. Still with me, we're concluding this particular discussion is Council Chirunda Robert here, who is the Secretary of Blockchain Association of Uganda. Yeah. Tell us what is at hand as an association that you are engaging on, maybe with Bank of Uganda or any other stakeholders for strategizing, transformation of blockchain inUganda.
I'll tell you the vision that we have. One, we want to see an industry that thrives for everyone.
Okay.
We want every blockchain player to be able to succeed.
Okay.
Whether you're focusing on the metaverse, or you're focusing on building on-ramps or off-ramps, or you're focusing on building an exchange, or you're focusing on NFTs. Wherever you are in the ecosystem, we want blockchain businesses to succeed and to thrive. Whether you're raising awareness like the Naiwan Academy, we want you to be able to reach the right audiences without fear of retribution. We want to make sure that everybody knows that there is in fact a thriving environment in which you can be safe, number one. Number two, we want to make sure that our members are protected from, because you see, scammers are scamming the public, but because they give us a bad name, our members then get attacked. So we want to make sure there's a place that people can go. We want to make sure the public has a centralized source of truth in the sense that if you're looking for who can I deal with, we know who the trusted players are in the market. That's just first of all internally. In terms of externally, what we're working towards is to make sure that we have an enabling, a good regulatory environment to facilitate the growth of the business, because like I said, regulation is a sign of maturity. But also we want to make sure that we can do whatever we can to focus on attracting capital to Uganda. Between 2018 and 2020, just before COVID, the Ugandan ecosystem was growing very fast because of the conferences we had. So we want to go back to raising awareness, collaborating with every player in the market who is focusing on raising awareness to help the public understand that actually, as they say in Spain,
that is what they say in Spain.
That's what they say in Spain, yes.
Please conclude in 30 seconds.
This is a real industry with real opportunity where real value can be created at the global stage.
Thank you.
The thing about the fourth industrial revolution is that we are all at the starting line. We haven't scratched the surface yet. So no country in the world can claim to be the world's leading player on blockchain or on crypto or on metaverse. No.
Okay.
But we can attract opportunity, we can attract value, we can attract capital to Uganda and make Uganda a beacon for the whole world.
Thank you, Council Chirunda, for having joined us and for your time. We've been speaking about blockchain and its blockchain applications and its legal framework in Uganda. A lot more we have not tackled. We've not even talked about NFTs. Neither have we talked about the metaverse, SocialFi, and among others. But in case you need to follow more on really information on blockchain, especially improving yourselves and communities on financial inclusion, make sure you hit the subscription button. Do share this link and hit onto the notification button for always notifying you on what we have. Coming up from here, we're going to be speaking about German blockchain space and crypto, how it is ongoing there. My name is Rita Caballero. Stay up to Naiwan.